Hello. So, this week starts the World Junior Championships in ice hockey, and I thought it would be fun to make some Finnish food to cheer on Team Finland. So the English translation of this soup is sister sausage soup, but no one's sister is involved at all. It's basically just regular sausage that they call, well, Siskonmakkarakeitto, but it's pretty good. I'm trying a different onion approach since everyone in my last video said I just take out the first layer. So, alright. I feel like I'm wasting a lot of onion by doing it that way, but what are you gonna do? So that's why I'm wearing the Finland jersey also, because, I don't know, sending some good vibes, I guess. And if you're wondering why I cheer for Finland and not the US, we're really bad. So, in this soup, we put, well, usually, I think, in the traditional way, they just do onions, potatoes, and carrots, and maybe like a rutabaga. But I always put celery in, because I think celery in soups like this just really, it really adds like some much needed texture and some much needed flavor and difference, and I feel like I'm wasting so much onion. I don't know, just something new, something more special. And you don't see celery much in Finnish cooking, so this is definitely not like a traditional thing. If you're looking for more traditional ways of doing this, like I said, I think you would probably just put in like some rutabaga or something not celery. Yeah, I mean, this method of cutting off, or taking off the first outer layer, it works. I just feel like I threw a lot of onion in the garbage. It makes me kind of sad to think about. But, I don't know, it's not too much, I guess. So this week has been a bit of a crazy week for me, I guess, with all of the, Yahoo articles and Huffington Post UK and everything. I guess it was cool, but I definitely wasn't expecting it when I uploaded the video. This happens to me a lot. I upload things and then they just sort of go out of hand, and then I don't know where to go from there. I don't think I'm all that interesting, so for people to be interested in me, I think that's nice, and I'm glad that I was able to, I guess make people happy. I guess that's what I did. A lot of the comments I was reading from people were just saying that like their aunt or sister or mom or whatever also was blind, and how it affected their lives, but they didn't let it stop them, and blah blah blah. So it's really nice that people are in similar situations, and they also kind of roll with it and don't let it get them down too much. So now we're moving on to the potatoes, and these are just regular Finnish potatoes. They're a bit chunky. There. I can run through them with a knife afterward. Yeah, these are just regular Finnish potatoes. Huh?
Oh, run away.
Where?
On the bottom of your blade.
Aha! Thank you. I would have totally missed that. So yeah, my board's getting a little cluttered here. Alright, so Finnish food in general, I think, is actually really good. But most Finnish people don't believe me when I say that. Just yesterday we were at a family friend's Christmas, little Christmas party, and there was some lutefisk type of things, and different kinds of herrings, and just basic Christmas foods. And the woman asked me if there was any Finnish food that I really don't like. Then I had to actually think about that. I couldn't just answer that question. I didn't have a ready response. Because I like most of it. And a lot of Finns, you know, they say, oh, well, you know, our food isn't as good as like Italy or Spain or whatever. And it's like, you can't compare the two. They're not even at all the same kinds of food. So it's not really fair to compare them. I think Finnish food is very simple. You know, it really, like, it showcases, you know, just the fact that Finland wasn't always kind of like a rich place like it is now. You know, life here used to kind of be a bit more simple. And you see that a lot in the food. Lots of butter, lots of potatoes, lots of stuff that comes from the woods and things like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's actually really awesome. But it's really, Finns are very modest people, so it's very hard to get them to admit when they do something really well. They're like, oh no, sorry, it's not good, it's horrible. But I guess it's better than being arrogant. But it would be nice, I guess it would be nice in general if society here was a bit more, like, positive. But everyone's kind of afraid of being seen as, there's food on the floor. I'll get that later because I don't want to get my hands dirty. You know, people don't want to be seen as arrogant, which I understand. But there's a difference between being arrogant and being able to say when you do something well, I think. And there's a lot of things that, when it comes to Finnish cooking, they do really well. There's also things that aren't very good, I admit that. Like yesterday, I realized they have this, kind of like this dessert porridge here that they make from lingonberries. And I really don't like it. It's really just not a pleasant experience. I don't like the mouthfeel, I don't like anything about it, but it's like, it's super traditional. Because lingonberries grow pretty abundantly, so. And it's, I mean, it can be sweet. I've had a couple different variations of it. And when it's sweet, it's okay. But when it's not sweetened, it's just sad. But it's funny because I like lingonberry jam. But that porridge is just, it's a bit much for me, that's all. I think it's an acquired taste. But otherwise, like, the big thing in Finland that they like to scare the foreigners with is mämmi. It's like this kind of like a bread type of thing that's eaten around Easter. Now we're moving on to carrots. It's like a bread type of thing that's eaten around Easter time. And it's not bad. And everyone, like, whenever there's anyone, like, foreign, it's always mämmi and then the salmiakki, which is like the salty licorice thing. And it's always the two. And they always want to try to say, like, oh, look at how scary this is every year. And it's not that bad. It's really not. It's actually quite good with ice cream or kind of like whipped cream or something like that. It's really not bad. It just looks weird because it's, I mean, that's the big thing is it looks kind of a bit like something you wouldn't want to eat, but when you actually try it, it's okay. There's really nothing wrong with it. But I don't know, maybe I'm weird. I don't know. Okay, so my kid is awake. And as far as ice hockey goes, I'm not really sure who is on the Finnish junior team this year. I haven't been paying much attention since the baby came to hockey, even though I'd like to. I've gotten to watch a couple NHL... Oh, God. Alright. I'm going to take a break soon anyway, once the stuff is in the pot, and I'm going to clean up the mess I've made. But that's the risk you take always with carrots, is that they're going to go flying. And speaking of the pot, at this point, I'm going to put it on a little high, just because when I put the vegetables in, I want them to get a little bit of color before I add my stock cube and my water. My board is getting a bit cluttered here. Okay. Actually, if I can sort of move this stuff back. This is one thing I think that would be easier if I had, like, real vision. because sort of right now I can tell my board is getting quite cluttered, but I can't really see the best course of action for optimizing the room that I have on it, which kind of sucks, but what are you gonna do? Alright, so carrots are done, and I'm gonna throw these guys away. Yeah, there's some runaway potatoes, but my counter is quite clean. I cleaned it before I started this, so I'm not too worried. These are the leaves of celery, and a lot of people seem quite conflicted about them. Personally, I like them, and I don't even bother chopping them. I just sort of pull them off. I put them right in my soup. I like the flavor. But of course, if you're not a fan of celery leaves, then you don't have to. Celery is really easy to cut, and that makes me happy. Okay, so there. I'm running out of space. Actually, it wouldn't be the end of the world if I already put some butter in the pan and put the vegetables that I already cut, because I'm so quick with the celery that this is just regular old butter. Normally I cook with olive oil, but when you're making Finnish food, butter is king. And I want a bit more than that. Well, now there's too much butter. Said no one ever. Okay. Yeah, I just want to kind of carefully pick this up and put it in. There's too much on my board to really like kind of pick it up and scoop it comfortably for me at least. So, well, at this stage, I can probably do that when I get a bit more off here. I've made a mess and I'm not happy about it. Maybe two more. This is why it pays to always have clean surfaces, though. Clean hands, clean board, clean counter. And the cooking. That's not just one of those things that people harp on about for fun. It's really helpful when you make a bit of mess and your food gets away. Maybe I want to see one for chunky. Now, it's quite hot, but it smells awesome. I'm going to add a little bit of salt now. Okay, now I have stock cubes. This is chicken, and I'm using chicken because it's what I have. And I need half a liter of water. Yeah. That's in. And the cube. I might add just a touch more water because I don't like how that feels. My battery died! Alright, so I added 3 deciliters more to this, and obviously I added in the stock cube. So now what I want to do is just add a little bit more flavoring that I think works well with the soup, and then I'm going to take a break because this has to boil for about 15 minutes. So that is not what I need. I'm looking for thyme, which is that, and then I'm looking for, why do I have 2 things of thyme? And thyme and rosemary, because I think thyme and rosemary work really, really well with sausage. And then obviously more salt and pepper, but so. And then if I think this needs more later, I can taste it. But for now, I'll just put in that much. Alright, so this needs to kind of hang out for about 15 to 20 minutes. You basically just want to make sure that the potatoes are cooked through and everything and soft before you add the sausage in, because the sausage doesn't take long at all once it's in. So I'm going to take a break, and then I'm going to come back and show you how to add in the sausage. I'm back, and this is the sausage we're going to use. And I got it on discount because it goes bad soon. Oh, yeah, soon. Cool. Now I'm not going to use all of it because it's Christmas and my hands are too wet. There we go. I'm not going to use all of it because it's Christmas this week and there's going to be lots of other food to make, and I can put this in that because there's only 2 of us now and I just don't need to put all of this in, but I can definitely make something with this at some point. So this is what these look like. They're just pretty basic sausage links. So I'm going to just, if I can, there. And then this is kind of what it looks like, and then basically you just push out meat slowly and in small bits. So like that's a pretty big chunk. I wonder if I can actually make that into 2 because that's pretty big. Yeah, I can. So basically you just do it like that. And I want to turn the heat down a little bit, but my hands are now covered in meat. Thank you, camera guy. So I think I'm only going to use about 2 of these because I just don't think I need more than that. And then I can put this in something else that I make for Christmas. I don't know what yet, but it bothers me that it's not like a ball. And then after these go in, they're in, you can pretty much see when they're done, but I would say about 15 minutes just to make sure they're cooked, because you really don't want raw sausage. It's really not a fun experience. I think this is a labor of love, though, because the soup tastes really, really good, and I think it's worth the meaty hands. And some of the balls are naturally going to be bigger than the other because you just kind of do this by feeling. And this is actually, there's a kitty cat. And this is actually a really good recipe for, recipe for me to do as a blind person, because I don't really, aside from the cutting, I don't need to see much. Well, and seeing when the sausage is done, I mean. Because I can kind of just feel for the size of balls. That's a big one. And someone somewhere is watching this Velma talk about sausage balls and is just laughing and laughing and laughing. This is when it gets kind of like, when you get toward like the middle of the links, it gets a little bit annoying, but that's okay. So I'm going to go down to here. And in theory I could cut this off, but meh. That's a big one. And I think everyone's favorite part of this soup is more the sausage than the vegetables and all that. But I think it's important that they taste good too, even though no one eats this because they like the veg. But it's good for flavor. And this is a good soup for the winter time too, because all the vegetables are stuff you can find in the Finnish grocery stores at least year round. Carrots, potatoes, celery, and their prices the prices are reasonable. So this isn't an expensive thing to make at all either. She's fine. She's just really talkative lately. But I guess every baby kind of goes through that phase when they kind of realize that they can make noises. But obviously she's only 7.5 weeks, so she's not going to be talking to me anytime soon. But it's nice that at this point she's kind of learning that she can make noises. And this is awful having meat hands. Lucky for her, I'm going to be taking a break soon, so she'll get to have all of the cuddles and whatever she wants right now. Probably just cuddles because she's in there alone. This is the last ball. Now I want to stir this, but I can't. And I actually think I might add one more link. Yikes, that's a big one. Yeah, and that's what, you can cut this off. It would make life a lot easier. But then I'd have meat all over my scissors, and then I have to wash my hands twice. So I'm just kind of going to do it the hard way, now that my hands are already dirty, and then wash them all when it's over. It's a labor of love. And it's not difficult. It's just messy, sort of. Because your hands get all covered in whatever the hell this is. after this, I'm gonna take a break, and then this has to cook for a few more minutes, and then I'll show you what it looks like when when it's all done. That really needs a stir right about now. Yeah, so there's 2 balls left, I think. 1 coming now. And the last one. Or, no, there are no balls left, because I kind of pushed it down into that. Okay, so there are no balls left. So, I'm gonna wash my hands and let the sausage cook a bit, and I'll come back to show you what this looks like when it's done. Okay. So, this is done, I think. If you want to get a nice close-up camera shot of what it looks like when it's done. The sausage is cooked, everything else is cooked. My version of this soup isn't very liquidy, and I don't know if I mentioned this before, but basically, I kind of tend to do 1 potato, 1 carrot, 1 onion, and 1 celery stalk per person. And obviously I use an extra celery stalk because I like celery, but that's kind of the golden rule. And then like 1 link of sausage, well, 1.5 links of sausage per person. So I made this for 2 because there's only 2 of us. But this is really easily adaptable to more people, and you don't have to use chicken stock, you don't have to do anything like that. The last final thing I want to do now is just add my salt and my pepper. So, pepper, salt. I'm going to stir this up a little bit, and then I'm going to just taste it. And I'm not going to plate it because I don't have time to eat it right now, but it'll stay warm for a while. I just want to taste the broth more than anything to make sure that that's good. My Hello Kitty spoon. It's good. It's herby and tastes like how I think a soup like this should taste. So this is Siskonmakkara, or sister sausage soup, and it's very Finnish, and you can make this and watch Team Finland play ice hockey next week. So good luck, boys.